Good morning, everybody. Today we are here with Helen Miu from Canada Post. Helen reached out to me a couple of weeks ago because Canada Post really does have some amazing tools and resources as far as target and direct mail marketing goes. And I know that that's something that a lot of our realtors are interested in. So Helen, thank you for coming on and agreeing to give us a little bit more information.
Morning, Kirsten. Thank you for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be here this morning.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So quickly, what is your role with Canada Post?
My role in Canada Post, I work for commercial sales. So
Okay.
I'm actually responsible for commercial accounts based on territory that I've assigned to me.
Perfect. And one of those is real estate brokerages.
Right, yeah. And any types of industries actually we do look after when they do use Canada Post for whether shipping or direct mail campaigns.
Awesome. So our realtors do a lot of direct mail or ad mail and one of the things you and I were talking about earlier is somebody sells a house and you want to do some sort of just listed campaign around a certain area. So we do have quite a few needs in terms of direct marketing. So how can Canada Post help with that?
Right. So actually, Canada Post went through some rebranding last year. So now we used to call ad mail, unaddressed ad mail, we now call it neighborhood mail.
Neighborhood mail.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for addressed ad mail, I believe some of the agents might have sent it out, like their calendars at Christmas time.
Yes.
We now call it personalized mail now. So it's actually better terms of in terms of what they're actually connecting with their clients as well.
I like that.
Yes, yeah.
So unaddressed ad mail is now called neighborhood mail.
Right.
And personalized addressed mail is now called
personalized mail.
Personalized mail.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is better. So now you guys are obviously doing a lot of work on that, which is great. So tell me some of the different options and solutions that you guys have.
Okay, so with neighborhood mail, we believe that with the direct mail, it actually has more potential and tangible to send out the messages to people or potential customers.
Right.
So for instance, if one of your agents sold a property, they can actually go into our Precision Targeter, which is an online tool.
Right.
They can actually put the address of the home that they just sold, and then they can actually target their neighbors. So your neighbors will actually get a message in their mailbox. So which is very powerful because a lot of people actually do watch out their communities, how real estate's going. And if they saw someone sold their homes, it's actually something that they'll keep on top of their mind when next time they're ready to sell their house.
Absolutely. So you mentioned Precision Targeter, and we talked a little bit about that earlier. So tell me what the Precision Targeter tool through Canada Post is and how it helps with direct mail.
Right. So they can actually go onto our website, go into Precision Targeter. They can actually target the area that they want to do. So there by the letter carrier route information, it will actually have maps around. As you can do custom mapping as well.
Right.
You can target houses, apartments, business, farms, anywhere you want to select. You can actually add demographic variables such as like age group, income, year of construction of the homes. There are a lot of filters that you can actually look for where we get the information from Canada Census. And you can actually prepare the order right at that point and then print out the paperwork and then drop off your mailing to a Canada Post locations.
Oh, that's incredible.
Right, yeah.
So instead of just saying, I want to send mail to all of Silver Springs, for example, you can actually say, I want to send mail to people in Silver Springs who are over the age of 50 and have an average household income of $150,000 or higher.
Exactly. So it ranks
wow.
the routes by percentage score. So it actually gives you a percentage ranking by each filters or combined score as well.
So using that tool, Canada Post will suggest what type of postal walks you should use to reach the most people who meet your criteria.
Exactly. And you can also eliminate the routes that are actually likely to be your potential customers. So you can actually screen those out too.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
So
really
you
great.
don't waste any of your marketing dollars. You just actually target your best customers.
That's great.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, would that be considered neighborhood mail?
Right.
Neighborhood mail. Okay. And then for somebody who is doing that, do you guys have any statistics or research that shows the conversion of direct mail versus something like an email or a phone call and what the power of print marketing like that does?
Yeah, we had spent some money on neuroscience. So we actually studies the brain that when people receive different medias. So
Yes.
where the physical and actually use 21% less brain effort to actually digest your piece than your digital. Yeah, and 89% of people will actually open the direct mail versus then your digital media as well. So you get more power, more action, call to action response, quickly. And there also research showing that if you have a combination of emails and also direct mail, people are highly to recall the brand, and also they will more likely to respond as well.
So you guys have done quite a bit of work with real estate brokerages and lots of realtors in general. And have you found the success for this type of mail to work?
Yes, with the realtors, I think it's more for you're selling your brand, your personal brands, and your corporate image to your clients, right? To your potential new clients. So it is good to spread out the information, the marketing messages to the neighborhood, to the communities. So when they're ready to sell, they would actually think of you as their first potential real estate agent, right?
Awesome. So one of the things that lots of people think about is, okay, so I want to do this. I just sold a home, or I'm geo-farming a certain community, and I want to get some information out. Are there minimums? Like, does somebody need to send out 5,000 letters for this to work?
The minimum, it's a one letter carrier route. So that would be the minimum.
The minimum is one. And what would be an average of one letter carrier route? How many homes?
It would be average between 500 to probably 1,200 points of calls, depending on the type of the route, whether if it's a walking route or if it's we call rural service, suburban services route, so where you get the community mailboxes. So those would probably less time, right? Because the delivery agent will just drive up to the mailbox and deliver your mail, versus you have a walking route, people would have to walk through the neighborhood.
Of course. Okay, so minimum, you would probably say, depending on, it's between about 500 and 1,200. And does that matter what the piece is? It could be a postcard, it could be a flyer, it could be a letter.
Yeah, actually our specs are very flexible. So we have standard size, and then we also have oversized spec. So you can actually deliver up to, I believe if it's community mailboxes, it's about 1 kilogram, sorry. So it's very big piece that you can deliver, like a catalogs.
One thing I wanted to ask, and I know we haven't talked about this recently, but a lot of people want to target large condominium complexes. Can you do that with Canada Post?
With condominiums, that would fall under our apartments. So anybody that share a main entrance, then it's considered apartments.
Okay.
So for townhomes or condos, if they have their own entrance to their unit or their house, then that would fall under the house points of calls.
And for large apartment buildings, can you do neighborhood mail to those, or no, because you would need the...
You can do neighborhood mail to those apartment buildings or condo buildings, but then you also have, like if it's apartments only, there will all the apartments within that route.
Right.
Yeah, so you cannot zoom out the other apartments within that route.
So you can't just say, I just want to do this one apartment. You would have to do a couple that are in that section.
Exactly.
And that's, if you were to go on and look at the postal routes, you can see which different complexes fit in.
The map actually don't give you like the detail or the specific apartment names or the locations, but then it gives you like the broad streets. So the main street.
Okay, so if you know that apartment is on that street, and it'll let you know that there's 120 residences within, and that'll.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can pick that route then.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know that we have a lot of realtors that are interested in marketing to apartments.
Right. Yeah.
So
definitely.
That's big.
Yeah, it's a big market.
It is a really big market. Wonderful. So talk a little bit about the rates, and I know it's hard. It's complex.
Right.
But it's affordable.
Yeah.
It's something that people can afford to do. So give me a couple examples.
So with Canada Post rate, we based on the 12-month volume. So the more you mail, the cheaper it gets. For commercial contracts, you're looking at about 12 cents for the basic 100,000 piece contract.
Okay.
So the more you mail, we can actually set up a better rate. So the beauty of this...
So sorry to interrupt, so really quickly on that. So if there was an individual realtor and mail was a big part of their business, they could personally as an individual contact Commercial Services of Canada Post and set up their own account if they know that they're going to be planning on sending out quite a few pieces.
I think the best would be actually set up like the corporate agreement so everybody can access at that same rate. Because if you have so many real estate agents out there, the power of combining the volume would be much larger than a single agent that set up their own contract.
And one of the things for you guys, CREB does actually have a realtor rate that you guys can tap into. So if you're interested, just look in your member services and you'll be able to find that as well.
Right.
Okay, so that's really great. And so so that's obviously like kind of the minimum starting rate. Does it depend on the type of mail that you're sending the cost?
The contract, it's catered for neighborhood mail.
Yes.
So, and then you also have contracts for other services, so like personalized mail or business reply mail.
If I, as an individual who wasn't part of a group, just said I want to go and send 500 pieces of mail to a community, what cost would I be looking at for that?
You would be probably looking at 16 cents for your postage.
16 cents for postage based on 5. That's very good.
Yeah, it's still very good.
That's very good considering what's the average postage stamp right now?
Yeah.
$1.10 or something?
Yeah, it's about $1.
Oh, so that's still very good.
And then plus like the time that you need to actually do the door-to-door, it's actually very time consuming, right?
Of course. So that 16 cents includes somebody literally walking down a postage route with your piece and putting it in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very good.
And then plus apartments, a lot of other competitors, they have no access as well. So they wouldn't be able to put the piece into their mailboxes.
We actually worked with a company earlier, previously, and it was the same thing. There was no access, so there was no opportunity to market within apartments.
Right.
Okay, so a realtor is in the process of designing a piece. Where would they go to, one, find out what criteria in terms of, on the piece, what needs to be left blank for the scanners, any criteria as to what can or cannot be on it. And then once the piece is done, where do they go to bring it? So what does that look like?
So with Canada Post, if you're using neighborhood mail, there's a lot more flexibility because these pieces don't go through our machines. So you can actually fill up your postcard with all the graphics or any messages that you need to put on. But if you're doing personalized mail when it's addressed mail, then there's more specification, the white areas on the envelopes or postcard that has to be on the piece. So we have all the information on our website. So I can send you the link with more details if you wish.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And as far as depositing the mail, when you do the online order through the precision order or the online business center, when the paperwork prints out, it actually gives you the location of the depots where you can drop off your mailing to. So it has the address printed on the box labels.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So you can do all of the work at your own computer in advance, print out the paperwork that you need, and then just bring all of your mail, and then you'll do the billing and take it from there.
What we'll do is because of so many agents, it will be inundated with the billing. So what they do is they will actually default the account with no billing. So everybody just pay upfront by credit card.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so that way nobody has to, be responsible for some outstanding invoices or, track it down to who did what mailing.
That's really great.
Yeah.
And realtors like putting things on their credit cards. So
exactly, you earn the mileage, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Helen's going to be sending me some more information in terms of where you guys can get basically just info on designs and where to drop stuff off and a little bit on pricing. We are going to be also figuring out the link for you guys to look at in terms of your CREB pricing. So if you guys want to tap into that. And as a company, Helen and I are going to be working on a way to try and make it very easy for you guys to do something within your virtual office, to just click something and set up any mailouts that you guys want to do that way. So stay tuned for that. And then once I have that information, we'll be sending that out to you guys as well. So thank you very much for joining us today, Helen.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.